So most high achievers don't fail because they're lazy. They don't. They don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're too intense, man. They live their life in sprints. Big peaks, big valleys. If that sounds like you, listen up in this video today, guys, because I have a mindset shift that'll help you stop living your life in these peaks and valleys so that you can have steady progress in your life and stop crashing and burning. Okay? Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm Jeremiah Sullivan. I was a quitter in life. I was a college dropout. I gave up on all my dreams. I turned that all around by making a bold decision to join the military. And when I joined the military, I was in the bottom 1%, and I finished my time in service in the top 1%. So I'm a former Army Ranger and infantry officer. One of the things that the infantry has is a lot of high performers, man. High performers. Infantry soldiers are typically very competitive. Now, I was in the officer ranks, and that was a very competitive field as well. You know, it's when you get into the infantry as an officer, every step of your career is competitive. Every step. For you high achievers that are out there, you can relate to this if you have a sales job, if you have a business, but it's cutthroat and it is competitive. Now the goal is to be a team player, to play well with the other officers, but I'm telling you, these guys in the infantry, these infantry officers were so tunnel vision on their own success. Them being cutthroat was not intentional. They were just so focused on their own success that they just were naturally cutthroat. So I'll give you some perspective, and I'll teach you guys this shift that you can make to prevent yourself as a high achiever from crashing and burning big time, okay? And this is important because if you have a team, your team feeds off of your pace, okay? Your team is going to go up the mountain with you and down the mountain with you because you're leading them. So if you operate in sprints and crash and burn, your team is going to crash and burn right behind you. We don't want that. So, you ever heard the saying, you can't out-train a bad diet? That's like a high achiever's go-to. They try to out-train a bad diet in every facet of their life. You know, they try to make more sales to generate more revenue. A high achiever identifies with achievement, number one. That's really what a high achiever is. They identify with achievement. And you can be a high achiever, rock star Monday through Friday, but then on the weekends, absolutely destroy yourself. You could crush it at work in your sales job, as an infantry officer, as a business owner, and Monday through Friday, then the weekend hits, you can just ride yourself right into a damn hole and then come out on Monday trying to chase that next mountain, try to chase that next peak. Meanwhile, while you're going through these massive peaks and valleys because of your performance, you take it out on everybody around you. You get irritable, you get snippy, and you think it's everybody else, and you're an achiever, so your ego gets out of control, and you start telling yourself that it's not you, it's them. Meanwhile, after you ridicule and you get mad at the people around you for letting you down and blaming others, after you have those conversations, you do kind of go inward a little bit. You start beating yourself up like, man, was I too hard on them? So your emotional peaks and valleys in your life as a high achiever is not only harmful to yourself, harmful to your team, but the emotions that you carry, the emotions that you go through, going through the peaks and valleys, are damaging to everybody as well. So not only are you going to cause these people to around you to experience the tempo, right? They're going to go up the mountain and down the mountain with you. They're going to go through the ups and the downs, and that's like their whole life is going to be cyclical like that. But on top of it, your emotions are going to cause you to lash out, and that's damaging as well. So a high achiever thinks that they can out-train a bad diet, especially a high achiever with a big ego. That was me. Don't worry, I know. That's why I can speak to you guys on these things. When I got to I like to use the 75th as an example, and it's not to glamorize the regiment. It's just it's like one of the best places that I ever went that had top individuals, and it is a great organization. But I don't use it to like put it on a pedestal. I just use it. The 75th was a great sample population of high performers, people that got it done at all costs. Now, in this group of individuals, okay, in the 75th, you had a group of high achievers, the 1% of the 1%. led by the 1% of the 1%. So what would happen if you had a whole team of people that were not just high achiever type, they were all A players, and they were led by A players? What do you think happens in that environment? I'll tell you what happens. I went up to my squad leader one time when I first got to the 75th, and he told me, he was basically giving me like an in-brief as one of the leaders, the managers, the mid-level managers in my team. And he was giving me a brief. He was like, hey, sir, welcome to the team. I want to give you a little bit of insight into how it works here, because he's been there for a while. I valued his perspective, so I listened. And he's like, a lot of officers, they come down here, and they've been working for this assignment for several years. They're very hungry to get after it. And they come down to the team, and they're excited. They're ready. They're pumped up. But meanwhile, that team that they're about to step into, they've been through some shit. That team has been through some hell for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe multiple deployments, multiple training exercises. Maybe they haven't had a lot of stability and family time. So this officer's going to come down. He's going to be foaming at the mouth to freaking prove himself as an officer and be competitive against his peers and win. And now we were talking, some of that is needed. But at the same time, this guy, he was telling me, he was like, we're basically the regiment, these platoons, these companies, they're a lot like a rented luxury car. People get in them and they treat them like a luxury car. They jump in and they rent that thing and they drive it balls to the wall and they just do whatever the hell they want to it and act as if they don't own it. They just pedal to the metal and just damage that thing and run it till the wheels fall off. And then they get out, they pass the keys off to the next guy, and they walk away. Meanwhile, the Rangers in the platoon, they're sitting there feeling like the effects because they're staying in that team and that officer went on to the next assignment. So, the thing is that in that example, you are both the officer and responsible for the team and the people inside of the team. Your emotions are the team. So when you, as a high achiever, you take over that team, you're going to drive it towards success, and then you're going to move on to the next thing. Well, when you do that, there is damage to the team that you created. There is emotional damage to that team. So in your life as a high achiever, you are emotionally damaging people through your performance. So what you have to realize is, you shouldn't necessarily let up. And that's not what I'm telling you to do as a high achieving leader. You shouldn't necessarily let up. But what you do have to learn how to do is, number one, shift gears. You have to learn how to change your what I mean by shifting gears is, if you're that rental car, you have to learn how to downshift and upshift as you're driving that team. So what that means in your life is, as every week goes by, you got to know whether or not that week if it's appropriate to go as hard as you want to go. And you have to look at the team and you have to look at yourself and ask yourself, do I need to go and do a sprint this week, or do I need to do a recovery, a prep week? Do I need to do some other variation of intensity this week? And that doesn't mean taking all of the week off, but it means managing your energy and managing your productivity so that you can consolidate across week-long periods. And if this is the main message that I want to give to you guys. When it comes to high performance and managing high-performing teams, you need to throttle the team on a weekly basis. You need to focus on your performance. You need to control your pace on a weekly basis. Discipline is not just sticking to the path and hammering it over and over again. Discipline is actually pacing yourself when you're on the path. It takes self-control to make yourself move smooth, make yourself move slow, and slow is fast. The regiment had these different cycles that we would go through: P1, P2, P3, P4. I'm not going to break that down here in this video, but what I will say to you guys is that you need to cycle your intensity when it comes to your business, your family life. And when you cycle, maybe you have a sales job or you have a business, right? You can go hard in 1 week with that business, and then the following week you can go hard with family. So not only do you need to shuffle your intensity based off of your priorities, right? Week one, this week one that I'm on, I'm going to go hard with sales. I'm going to go medium with family. I'm going to go consistent with whatever, finances. This next week, I'm going to go hard with finances, mediocre with family. The following week, I'm going to go hard with family, mediocre with, so you get the point. So you need to control your tempo on a weekly basis, control your priorities, and be clear about what your top priorities are and assign intensity cycles to them. To break this down really in a simple way, to not make it complex, is as you watch this video, I want you to ask yourself this weekend, what's the intensity level that you're going to go into this weekend at? And what's your priority this weekend? Because when you come back to work on Monday, you're going to be carrying the emotional effects of this weekend. And if you don't keep yourself buttoned up and tight and well rested and focused and driven and happy, and not just driven, but happy, if you don't make the right decisions this weekend, guess what? Monday morning when you roll up, you're going to be in that valley again, or you're going to be irritable again, and you're going to be snapping at everybody around you. You're going to be trying to outwork a bad diet. So guys, the high performance hack when it comes to success and managing yourself and your team is to throttle up and throttle down. Control your energy. That's today's video. I got a call right after this. And be intentional about how you're spending your energy. And remember that discipline is not just going hard. Discipline is actually controlling yourself and slowing down. Conquer all.